Good morning. It's windy out here today. All right, we're talking about the Beatitudes and the Sermon on the Mount, and we're in the third one, the third blessing, Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. And it is sort of referencing back to Psalm 37, where he's kind of talking about why do the wicked always prosper, right? Why am I struggling and the wicked are always prospering? And so Psalm 37:11 says, but the meek shall inherit the land and will enjoy peace and prosperity. So when people are always feeling like something happened, right? That's not fair. I want to get revenge. I want to get back. Like, that would be aggressive. That would be the opposite of meek, right? But to look to God, to release that to God, and to know that God will fight your battles and will make all things right, So meek is more like being humble, being gentle, being submitted, right, to the Lord, being a servant, having that peace that comes with that, right? And then as opposed to being aggressive, forcing your will on other people, trying to dominate or always be in charge or be in control. That's the opposite of meek, right? Let's see what I wrote down on my notes real quick. So like turning the other cheek, we might have talked about that. Turning the other cheek would be meek. Somebody described it as like strength contained. So it's not weakness. It's strength under control, right? Strength, but submitted to the Lord, right? Jesus was meek. Moses was meek, right? Jesus was strong, powerful, and yet also meek. He allowed people to kill him, right? He allowed people to spit on him. He didn't do it back. So, what else do I have written down? I think that's it. I just have the opposites, right? Ego, pride, being aggressive, those kinds of things. I was trying to think of an example. I kept thinking about Rocky, in the movie Rocky, but I'm like, this is a horrible example, thinking about Rocky. But yet, I do think it fits because, like, Rocky didn't fight because he was so super aggressive and confrontational. Rocky fought because he was starving and he needed a paycheck, right? And he had a kind of a meek underdog spirit to him. And who was his girlfriend, right? Adrian was like the meekest of all the women in the world. Like, this woman was no alpha. She was like the meekest of meek. And Rocky just loved her, right? So I always think of Rocky when I think of meekness, even though it's kind of a weird example. Or even I think of sometimes the cats, the feral cats in our neighborhood, the ones who have inherited the land, right, of our property, have been the meek ones. The aggressive cats we have not allowed to be on our property, The meek ones are the ones who we are protecting and sheltering and feeding, and it's because they're meek. It's because they're gentle. The female cat is so feral. She's just so terrified, and yet she's in her own element, very strong. She's a very strong little cat, but she is with us extremely meek. And then the boy who we got him all his shots and stuff, he's much more stray, not really feral. He's very, very tame, He never wants to fight with the other cats. He's always the one to like lie down, show his belly, want to be petted. He's extremely just mild-mannered and gentle. And that's why we love him and we'll snuggle with him and take care of him and protect him. And literally these two cats have like, they own our property and no other cats are allowed on this property. Like those are the only two. So it's another probably bad example, but the meekness, their own gentleness has served them well. And I think a lot when I think about how God takes care of these animals, even sometimes through us, but even not through us, God is just definitely taking care of these animals. I think about that relationship of like God to people and God to animals, and just, this doesn't apply to this topic of this video though. Anyway, so that is the third blessing in the Beatitudes. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Have a good day.